Well, it's my first day back after 2 miserable days. The first when I blew up my account, and the second when I had to wait for the deposit to refund to my account. I believe I've learned an awful lot. I've made a bunch of adjustments to the way I'm going to approach risk management. We'll see if that's all true straight ahead.
I know that I don't understand. I know that I don't know. I take you by my hand, but I don't know where to go.
All right, it's my first day back after a very humbling start to the week, and I'll show you what I'm looking at before the bell. Got a couple of minutes. My gap scan analysis, I'll show you my gap scanner and the analysis side by side. It's not really pointing out anything you can't see just by looking at it. BLIN is gapping up on news. And what is it? It's gapping up 21% with a very, very low float. Meaningful volume, 1.3 million shares. Price is right in the zone, $3.55. And HGLI was the top gapper for most of the morning, but has slipped off of that post. Where is that here now? HGLI. Oop. Take a look at that chart. Where is it though? Let's see. Looking right at it. Type it in. HJLI. Yeah, it gave back almost all the move. You can see it's got the 20, the 200, and the 50 that it just slammed through and came right back down pre-market. So that's going to give it a headache. SYBX is the leading gapper today. My software isn't quite as impressed with it, and I think that's because of the lack of volume. But that volume doesn't look all too bad. I mean, 82,000 shares. I'm going to put it on our watch list. And let's see here. My gap scan watch list will put BLIN and SYBX. And I use this symbol list within trade ideas because I can just quickly tap it. It'll be down here in this window. I can just click it and it changes my light speed and my charting to view it. And I always have the SPY, AMD, Qualcomm. And today I'm putting Dave & Buster's, PLAY. They're having a bad morning. That might be something to watch to the downside. If I see something here, this will be, because they're down so much, this will be on a circuit breaker short sale restriction. So it won't be as easy to get into that. But I'm just going to watch it. I tend to watch the lower price stocks. But today my mission is to really utilize my position sizing algorithm to manage risk. And like I said in the previous video, it has to refresh here. These indicators don't actually appear unless there is a tick. There we go. So what do we have here? You can see on AMD, it shows the high and the low of the previous candle, 31.97 and 31.93, which is a 4-cent stop. That's only a 4-cent range if I were to use the previous candle as my stop criteria. Based on that, and based on a $300 maximum loss per trade, it's telling me that I could take a position of up to $3,000. That's a really tight stop. It's probably not something that I would do. I have actually programmed Lightspeed to limit me to 2,500 shares per position. I can't have a position above 2,500 shares, and I'm going to adhere to that. And it also shows me the spread. If the spread is more than 25% of the stop, the spread will be in red. Just to remind me, probably isn't a great idea. And also, a buddy of mine watched the video, and he said, you got to make it more clear who this British voice is that talks in the back of the videos. And I thought I mentioned it in another video. I'm using software that I created, which I call the morning scalper. And one of the features of this software is an AI, an artificial intelligence, which I refer to as Petra, Plan Evaluating Trade Report Analyst. And I can't even tell you how it took me longer to come up with a cute acronym for her than it did to programmer. But what this voice is it is pre-configured by me when I'm not in the market to tell me the things that I believe I need to hear at certain times of the day. Namely, when I'm not in a position and when I am in a position. So when I am in a position, she knows because I have my hotkey monitor running from the morning scalper, which tracks whether I'm in a position, what my size is, if I'm long or if I'm short. And right now I'm working on, and it should be done by the end of this week, I'm working on it knowing what the broad market is doing. So if I'm long in a broad market that's trending down, it will say things to me that I probably need to be reminded of. So it's a work in progress. I change what she says all the time. Sometimes it's entertaining for me. But if you have any advice on that, go ahead and leave comments, and I'll certainly consider it. But anyway, we have a few minutes to the bell. I'm going to get my stuff together here. And also, there are some other sound effects. You know, the bell that rings at 9:30, that's actually my software. And that was the one thing that I loved about TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim, is that it had a bell that went off at 9:30. I mean, of all the useless things to be impressed by a trading platform, but it was easy enough to add into this. So anyway, I'm going to sit back, finish my coffee, wait for the market to open. We're going to take it low and slow today. You know, small size, meaningful tight stops, hard stops. And we'll see how that works for me. And we'll see you on the other side. Right now it's telling me that based on the previous candle, I could have a 34-cent stop, which would allow for an 882 max size position. I don't have an 882 hotkey, so I would go with 500.
Required stop loss, 60 cents. Be patient. Strike only when the timing is perfect.
I thought I was going to plow through that.
Position closed. Please log win or loss before you forget. Are you thinking of doing something right now that would irritate me? If so, think of something else.
I was anticipating the break of $4. Didn't happen. I sold the position before. I never got a hard stop in there. This might be harder to do than I thought. And I sold at 376. Strike one. So now I could have a 25-cent stop. Oh, look at that. Oh, see ya. And a lot of folks that did something similar to me and held it, and that was them getting out. So I managed my risk on that trade. I mean, it was a losing trade, but I managed my risk by taking very small size and really respecting the stop. I didn't even approach the stop. I just didn't feel like having a $300 loss to start my first day back. That's just miserable. Take a quick look at SYBX. And you can see that capped its 200 day. I knew that would be a problem. But look at the spreads. 3 by 10, 0 by 10, 1 by 18. No way.
Sadly, one of your biggest goals today is to not do something really stupid.
Sadly. Petra, you're right. That's one of my big goals. So the two small cap stocks that are on my watch list, I already lost $122. BLIN looks like it's just fading off of its high of day, which it made in the first 3-minute candle. SYBX is, I'm not going to trade that. 3 moving averages, ridiculous spreads. It's out. I can't trust my performance with the high of day scanner. I'm sure it's mental, but I've got it turned off, the alert sound, the cash register sound. I'm not really interested in it. And AMD is, this is its impulse move out of the box. It always has an impulse move, and then it picks a direction. But this isn't going to set itself up for a while, so this could be some time before we have anything going on. On the next 3-minute candle, if we make a new low, if this low stays at 41, I might like this short because I consider this sort of a pull up. And if this candle's small, it'll be a nice tight stop. Its next support is at $40.03.
Required stop loss, 30 cents. Is your stop set? At what point does the logic for getting into this trade become invalid?
Right
Position
there.
closed. Please log win or loss before you forget.
That's where it becomes invalid. All right, so second loser in a row. I had a chance to take profit on that, and I didn't. Jumped out at 41.29. We're pulling off the Bollinger Bands here, so that's not very encouraging.
Required stop loss, 30 cents. Are you doing something right now that would disappoint me? If so, cut the crap. I mean it. Watch your stops. Don't get squeezed by getting caught on the wrong side of this thing. You have an opportunity to be disciplined at this very moment. Will you be? I'm getting concerned with your accuracy. Do not trade your P&L. Your last two losers are behind you and should not influence your decisions on this trade.
Kind of have a point.
Where do other short sellers have their stops set? Beware of short squeezes. Required stop loss,
Sold half.
60 cents. Remember, one more losing trade and you're done for the day. Understood? Remember, one more losing trade and you're done for the day. Understood?
Yes, understood.
If you aren't feeling it today, walk away and find something to do. The market will be here when you get back. Position closed. Please log win or loss before you forget. Outstanding.
All right, so that was hardly a big play, but I sold half. I tried to make sure I was capturing profit and not just waiting for it just to pull back and give it back. So 3 trades, the commissions are probably $30, $40. I'm down, but this will give me time to wait for AMD to shape up into something, or maybe even this into something else.
Be selective. Let the market come to you. Required stop loss, 12 cents. Max position size reached. I'm watching you. Be selective.
Oh my
Let
God,
the
I went
market
long.
come to you. Position closed. Please log win or loss before you forget. Max trades reached. Required stop loss, 12 cents. Max position size reached. Max position size reached.
That is unforgivable.
Check the broad market. Is being short truly a good idea?
Yes, but being short at 32 is the good idea. Gave up $125 on that mistake.
Required stop loss, 8 cents. Max trades reached. Max position size exceeded.
I tried to add to that position,
Remember your max
and it
loss per
wouldn't let
trade.
me.
$300.
Perfect. Take 3 clicks to undo that, but I'm not doing it. I'm going to let this work.
Position closed. Please log win or loss before you forget. Required stop loss. 12 Max position size reached. Max position size reached.
All
Remember
right.
to scale out on the way up.
I am down $590. Wasn't thinking about my my max loss per day. So the day ends. Red day. Probably a tough day to be trading anyway. Everything's sort of going sideways, and I might have been forcing the issue a little bit. But I had an opportunity in almost every single one of these to be profitable. So I really need to go back, watch the tapes myself, and break it down and see where I went wrong. No, a red day in and of itself isn't a terrible thing as long as you're maintaining your rules. So I'm stopping as soon after as I can after hitting my max loss per day. I allowed a hell of a drawdown on this, which, as far as I'm concerned,
After your past 2 losses, I hope this setup is solid.
it's not as solid. We're closing the position.
Position closed.
Weirdo. So as far as I'm concerned, when you allow a drawdown to reach what I reached, it's breaking the rule. It's breaking your rule. No matter how you look at it. You may get lucky and it comes back. I said I was going to have hard stops. I didn't set a single hard stop. For some reason, I wasn't comfortable doing it. So I have to rethink about the mechanics in that. And I look at this AMD trade. I should have been out of this right here. As soon as the candle made a new high, I should have been out. $125 of this was because I hit the wrong frickin' button.
I'm getting concerned with your accuracy.
Yeah, I bet you are. And so that contributes to all of this. So, I'm going to shake it off, come back tomorrow fresh, and we'll see what happens. If you found anything about this video useful or informative, go ahead and click like and subscribe below. And if you'd like to be notified when I upload new videos or new content, click the little bell symbol right next to the subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
I know